Richmond International Raceway got its start some 5 decades ago as a tiny little fairgrounds facility. They called it Strawberry Hill. Now it is one of the fan and driver favorites on the entire circuit. And tonight, the NASCAR Busch Series stars and cars are set to compete for 250 laps. Great crowd on hand. Glad to have you with us here as we are getting set for the NASCAR Busch Series start. The cars, the drivers are buckled up and ready to go. Kyle Busch will lead him down, picking up his 3rd pole of 2007. As they're ready to go, so are we. Let's head down trackside for the command.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back your Grand Marshal, the president of Emerson Radio Corporation, Edward Will, as he delivers those most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Come on, gang. Crank them up. Crank them up. All right, start it up, bud. Simple, I got you guys. All right, guys, this is the name of the game today is fun. So just have a good time, practice up. That's all we're doing here.
That's right, old boy. Just be patient though early on here. Let's shake some stuff out before we go.
This race is going to change. The last 100 laps are going to be way different, I think. So let's just be prepared, I guess. I'll go easy.
Engines have fired. Drivers are ready to rock and roll here for 250 laps. Let's take a look at our starting grid as Kyle Busch picks up his 3rd pole of the year, 11th career pole. He got his very first win here at this racetrack from the pole, as you heard, just 2 years ago. And while you watch where your favorite driver is starting, let's check with our in-race reporter, Kevin Conway, driver of the Z-Line Design Chevy, starting back in 39th position.
Kevin Conway, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us?
I got you loud and clear, 10-4.
Kevin, this is your first time here. You've had some practice, but you're starting towards the back. What's your main concerns tonight?
Well, I think the biggest thing, we're going to try and miss all the wrecks and learn as much as we can and try to make sure we finish 250 laps with the Z-Line Circuit City Chevrolet tonight and try to end up turning a not-so-great qualifying effort into a good night.
Kevin, how was your car in practice? You pretty happy with it?
Yeah, we were. We're real happy with the way we ended up. We weren't exactly where we wanted to be in the beginning, but I tell you what, this whole Z-Line team, they worked their tails off all day, and they've got the car much better. So hopefully we'll have a good car to work up towards the front here and follow some of the veterans that are in front of me and learn as much as I can tonight.
All right, buddy, have a good one. We'll talk to you later on.
Thanks, guys. You too.
Calling the shots tonight for Kevin and this Joe Gibbs team will be crew chief Jason Ratcliffe.
Hey, Jason, Andy Petrie up here at ESPN. You got a copy?
I got you, Andy.
Hey, Jason, we just heard Rusty talking to Kevin there about starting back there at 39th. What can you do in the pits there to help him maybe get some track position?
Well, we'll see how the cautions fall here early and let this Z-Line pit crew do what they do best. I'm counting on them to get us, I don't know, 10 or 15 spots tonight, get us a little closer to the front and go from there.
10-4. It's been a long day for you guys, but good luck.
Thank you.
Jason has had a bevy of drivers driving for Joe Gibbs this year, and now he's got a young man making his first start at Richmond tonight. Well, what kind of stories we'll be following throughout the night? Who better to tell you? And some of the best pit reporters in the business. First, here's Jamie Little.
Well, Doc, you know the 2 most dominant drivers in the Busch Series the last 2 seasons have been Carl Edwards and Kevin Harvick. They're 1st and 2nd respectively in the points right now, but you have to remember Kevin has 7 fewer starts. Now, both drivers come to Richmond looking for a win tonight, but both for different reasons. Kevin Harvick behind the wheel of the 33, his very own car. In all of those Busch races he's won, he's never done it for his own team. Carl Edwards, on the other hand, in his last 5 races, he has not finished better than 11. A win here tonight could turn his season around and the team's momentum around before the final stretch of the 7 races. Let's go to Dave Burns.
Well, Jamie, that's the president in the NASCAR Busch Series. What about the future? What about David Reagan and Marcus Ambrose and Stephen Light? Remember, Reagan earlier this year thrilled at Talladega, a 4th place finish against all the Nextel Cup regulars. Stephen Light won his own very first race at Kentucky Speedway earlier this year. And of course, Marcus Ambrose had it in the bag at Montreal until, well, a lot happened at the end of that race. What can these 3 drivers do here tonight? We're going to watch them because even if they are racing against the best in the business in the Nextel Cup Series, they're still very good racers, and they may be fantastic on this short track here in Richmond. Mike?
Dave, a week ago we all saw how physically tough Brad Keselowski is. Tonight, though, we'll learn how mentally tough he is. Less than a week after his spectacular and violent California crash, he's back behind the wheel for the first time. But if you think there might be some mental apprehension, think again. Keselowski says it's just the opposite, in that the crash last week reinforced his belief in the safety of these race cars, and if anything, has made him more confident than ever. Confidence could go a long way here at Richmond, a challenging and somewhat intimidating racetrack. Tonight, Keselowski rolls off 15th. Shannon?
Well, Mike, Jason Keller is one of the veterans in the Busch Series, and tonight he's making his 415th Busch Series start. After tonight, he has just 3 races left until he passes Tommy Houston on the all-time starts list. That is, if he qualifies for those races. Now, I asked Keller if he ever thinks about that record, and he said, I do, but I don't want people to think that this is all I have. I have a lot more racing left in me. Jason starts 9th tonight. Doc?
Could be a landmark night for several drivers. We'll explain what some of these guys are chasing. We'll come back and talk more about what's going to happen in just a moment. Welcome back to Richmond International Raceway. We will take you for a ride tonight with 8 high-definition onboard cameras. Clint Moyer, who won back in spring, starts 11th in the BB&T Chevrolet. Mike Wallace starts 38th in the Geico Chevy. Greg Biffle starts 14th to 3M Ford. You've already heard from Kevin Conway in the Z-Line Design Chevy. Jamie McMurray starts 3rd in the Aflac Ford. Scott Wimmer, driving the 29 car, starts 18th, the Holiday Inn Chevy. Bobby Labonte starts 19th in the Dollar General Chevrolet. And David Rudeman starts 17th in the Aaron's Dream Machine Toyota. Tonight's event is 250 laps on a 3/4 mile racetrack they call the Action Track. Back in 1988, they expanded what was the old Fairgrounds Raceway to 3/4 of a mile. Always had great racing on the fairgrounds, but now it is almost unbeatable on a track that's a little bit super speedway and a little bit short track. Like a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll. It's got a little bit of both and a little bit for everybody here on a night like tonight. It has cooled off considerably here, particularly from last week when we were well over 100 degrees here. Currently down to 82 degrees. The air temperature, track temperature, 96 degrees. Should be perfect conditions to push and shove and beat and bang Richmond style.
Oh, man, you talk about 82 degrees outside, and you saw how much the track temperature cooled down from 128 degrees in practice and qualifying this afternoon down to 96. That means these cars are going to run faster, and they should put a good race on tonight. I'll tell you, the caution flags usually fly a lot here at Richmond. We're back at short track racing, a lot of framming and bamming. It'll be pretty exciting, guys. I just know it's going to be.
250 laps on a 3/4 mile racetrack, 187 and a half miles, 40 miles per hour on pit road. Pace car will run 45. Pit window 120 to 130 laps. Not sure we'll get that far without someone running over or hitting somebody else. Typically run green early on and caution toward the end. Glad to have you with us. Richmond International Raceway. Ford and Chevy on the front row. Kyle Busch and Matt Kenseth. Pace cars away. And here they come to the green flag. Already 2 and 3 wide entering turn 1, the 20 car. Denny Hamlin making a move, the 33 car that is Kevin Harvick, who won both events here a year ago.
Now, Kevin's looking really good in his own number 33 car. This is his own team. He's driving his car tonight. We watched him in practice this afternoon. His car was fast. He looked real confident. And you're going to see these guys really run the top lane, guys, throughout the night as they get later into a run. They usually run on the bottom of the track early, then start searching to the top. That's what Kevin's doing now.
I expected to see these guys, most of them on the bottom of the track early, but they're already searching up the top, and that means that we're going to have some really good racing later on.
Well, one good thing we had this afternoon, we had a lot of practice, a lot of qualifying here at Richmond. In this racetrack, the groove's already been moved up, so I expect them to get right at it right away.
How about Brad Keselowski here? He's on the move going forward.
And this is a first new partnership with Rick Hendrick. He's got a brand new Hendrick chassis, this number 88 car. So we're going to see what Brad does with it tonight. This is part of the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Rick Hendrick combination. And this is the first time Brad's in this car, but it doesn't look like his wreck last week affected him.
Pretty good rookie battle right in behind these guys. The 59, Marcus Ambrose there. He is second in the rookie points. There's a look at the talented Australian trying to improve on his best finish of the year, which was 6th at Dover. He already gained 3 spots from the start here in just 4 laps. Brad?
I spoke to Marcus Ambrose yesterday at length, and I asked him, I said, you've been in a little bit of a slump, since Montreal, and you got spun. I said, what's going on with your race team? He said, Brad, what we've done is we've got some new bodies, obviously, on our speedway cars, and we've gone back with our short track program and gone back to the basics, which we talked about earlier, going back to our principles that helped us run well early. He said, so we should have a great run here tonight at Richmond, and I'm looking forward to getting back to those speedways.
Well, I tell you, David Rudeman on the outside right now. David Reagan, he spun out in qualifying, flat spotted one of the tires. Wow, he gets knocked up the track just then by the 6 car, but he was able to change 1 tire. Now he's loose up off the corner, and I was worried about this. He spun out, and I call it getting the tires mad. And now he's got more problems right now, sliding around out of control. Looks like a left rear flat for David Rudeman.
Yeah, well, it's being reported he does have a left rear, and he's slowing down, trying to get on the inside, Andy, to get that car on the pit road. Now, pieces and parts coming off.
Yeah, there's a brake duct we saw flying off the left rear of the car. You see these sparks coming off. They're probably going to have to throw a caution for the debris that is coming off of this car. This is just probably a bad decision on the crew's part not to go ahead and change all 4 tires after a spin in qualifying.
Yeah, he probably damaged the tires, lighting them up that hard, spinning them. There's debris all over the track right now because of this tire. NASCAR hasn't thrown a caution yet. Let's take a look at the cause of this contact. They might have caused this. We thought we didn't get together, but maybe they have. Let's watch a 6-car Reagan get down in the corner.
Yeah,
left front damage. I didn't see him hit the left rear, but nevertheless, it makes you wonder if it was the right decision to keep those tires on there after he spun today.
Yeah, probably knocked the valve stem out of the wheel, which let the tire go flat, and then all this other damage. And then you see the brake duct that came off earlier. They had to go ahead and throw the caution to get that debris off the track.
And now they finally wave the yellow here on lap number 9. Debris on the racetrack, and there's part of the ducking, and who knows what else that came out from under that car, so they want to make sure no one else runs over it. It may be fairly innocent, but obviously these kind of things can happen. For more on this and how it comes apart, let's check in on our ESPN Dish Tech Center with Tim Brewer.
Thank you, Jerry. You're exactly right. What happened? More than likely, take this wheel right here, folks. This air dam, as it comes over across the corner, simply rips the valve stem right out of the tire. Therefore, all the air leaves the tire. Guy's down on the wheel. Doesn't have the luxury of having an interliner this week. Nothing to protect him. He's riding on his own on the wheel right now.
Tim, great explanation, because you're exactly right. That air dam on the side of the car can jump right up over that wheel. And you know, many times, Andy, as a crew chief down there, your driver comes in with a flat tire. That's what's happened.
Yeah, now the bad news for David Rudeman is he's 2 laps down. Instead of starting in the rear, having to change tires, now he's 2 laps down. He's got to get back.
Good thing he gets the lucky dog, the first guy to get a lap.
For more information on valve stems, log on to ESPN.com, search word know-how. We are under caution for the first time tonight, first of probably many tonight. Back with the green flag in just a moment. Back at Richmond International Raceway under caution for the first time tonight. Debris on the racetrack brings out the caution, and how appropriate that the Aaron's Dream Machine Toyota gets the Aaron's Lucky Dog free pass tonight. For the first time, he lost 2 laps. David Rudeman by having that cut tire, and now he will be 1 lap down by virtue of getting the free pass, getting to go around the leaders at the tail end of the field. 42 cars still on the lead lap. Kyle Busch has led all 14 laps thus far. Matt Kenseth, Ryan Newman, Denny Hamlin, and Kevin Harvick in the top 5. Pace car set to pull away, and we're going to resume racing here. 14 of 250 laps in the books at Richmond.
See Ryan Newman working a high side already right behind Matt Kenseth in the 17 car. We talked earlier that the high side of the racetrack has already come in. See Kenseth's working the top side. A lot of momentum up there. These Busch Grand National engines, Busch Series engines, I mean, they don't have a lot of horsepower, and they don't have a lot of momentum off the corner, so you got to run high and keep them wound up.
Now these cars make about 100 less horsepower than the Cup cars. Still make a lot of power, but not as much as the Cup cars.
Marcus Ambrose battling one of the veterans in the series, Casey Kane, who won at Bristol.
Now this is pretty early still. We're only 17 laps into it. These tire pressures on these cars still aren't up to their full potential. They're still gaining pressure. You'll still see some of the cars sparking because the tires are low. And when they get up a little higher, you're going to see maximum grip, and these guys should run a little faster.
Casey Kane being shown in 18th position. Let's check in his pits with Dave.
And Doc, did he just hit the commitment cone down there? It looked like that cone went flying. We might check on that. But Casey's been trying to find the line for his car. It's been, I guess it just flew by like that cone. It's my sight down here. Anyway, he passed the 59 earlier. He said, guys, I about spun out passing the 59, but I saved it. The car's actually not that bad, as we see Carl Edwards battling now with Jason Leffler.
Yeah, Dave, this is for 8th position, and we told you the saga of Carl Edwards and how much they've struggled the last 5 events, been finishing outside the top 10, and now Leffler slides high and kind of open the door for Carl Edwards on the inside. For more on the 60 car, let's check in with Shannon.
Well, Doc, just before the green flag dropped, Carl Edwards came over the radio, told his crew tonight he just wants to think about the points. And of course, he is talking about the Owners' Championship. Jack Rouse and Richard Childers Racing. Right now, Carl Edwards is running 9th. He started this race 6th. He says the car is a little loose. Doc?
This looks like the Carl Edwards of old here early. He's passing cars, going to the front, qualified good. Looks like they might have got this team healed up a little bit here.
You know, we were watching Carl Edwards' car earlier in the year, and the front end was really up on it. They kept working on the short tracks at Indianapolis Raceway Park. This is where I noticed they had problems. They're starting to get that better now. But look at Biffle on the outside. He's got a big run going on outside of Brad Keselowski in the lead. Matt Kenseth's really eating up the rear bumper right now, Kyle Busch.
Battle for the lead on the left side of your screen. They're battling for 14th, 15th, and 16th on the right side. That is Greg Biffle, you said, the former Busch champion. Scott Wimmer driving the 29 car for Richard Childers Racing. They are all in a tight battle, so battles all over this 3/4-mile racetrack at Richmond.
Now, this is one of the racetracks where you run side by side like you see Keselowski and Biffle right now. And it is so hard to make a pass when that happens because you're running about the same speed in the middle lane as you run on the bottom. Take a look at Dale Jr. right there. He's watching his guy, making sure he's doing a good job.
7th start of the year for young Brad Keselowski, 23 years of age, in the 88 car. And 3 of the 6 times he's been in the car, he's been the highest finishing rookie, including a career best finish of 7th 2 races ago at Bristol, Tennessee. And the news this week was that they have signed him for the remainder of the 2007 season. No word yet as to what's going to happen with this Navy car in 08.
This is a kid making the most of an opportunity that was given him. Even after that big, horrific crash last week, he bounces back. He's got a good, strong race going early here.
Take a look at Jason Keller right now, working the rear bumper at A.J. Allmendinger. Keller's a really good short track racer, and this is short track racing at its best right here at Richmond this week.
Jason Keller, what a record he is chasing here. The veteran of the series making his 415th career start tonight, 2 shy of tying the all-time start record held by NASCAR Busch Series legend Tommy Houston at 417. At this pace, if he qualifies for the next events, he will tie the record at Kansas City, and he will break that record at Lowe's Motor Speedway in October. Challenge up front, Matt Kenseth trying to get on the inside for the first time and not to lead, to take the lead away from Kyle Busch.
It's 2 different lines totally. Busch always seems like he commits to the top of the racetrack. We saw him last week in California doing the same thing. I know this is a short track, but that second lane here is really where you're going to want to be late in the race.
It can really frustrate a guy down on the bottom if you can hold him down there long enough, which we see now Matt Kenseth does get clear of Kyle Busch. But you can really frustrate a guy if you can just hold him right down on the bottom lap after lap and not be able to get by.
More on Kyle Busch. Shannon.
Well, Doc, Kyle Busch is searching for his first win since Daytona, this number 5 car. Before the race, I asked him how he thought his car was, what his chances are of winning this race, and he told me, watch out for the 17. As you see, Matt Kenseth just passed him on the track. Jamie.
Well, Shannon, I talked to Matt Kenseth, and he just loves this track. He's always a threat every time he comes here. He's finished in the top 8 the last 13 of 15 races here. And if you remember back to the last race here in May, what happened happened is a bad pit stop on that final pit stop cost him the race. He dominated the race. He should have won it. And in 15 starts here, he's finished second 3 times. Doc, I'd say he's out for redemption tonight.
Great record here, exactly, Jamie, for Matt Kenseth, but unbelievably, he has never won here, so he's got some unfinished business tonight as he takes the lead from Kyle Busch. Back in just a moment. Welcome back to Richmond International Raceway. Under caution for the second time tonight, the 18 car had some pretty heavy contact. Our in-race reporter, Kevin Conway. Here's what happened.
It's like Mike Wallace got into the back of Kevin here and just turned him the wrong way into the wall. Just about took out Mike Wallace's teammate there, J.J. Yaley.
And now the pits are open, and here they come down pit road at 40 miles per hour. Mike.
And Jamie McMurray gives up the 6th position on the racetrack, saying he's loose in and tight in the middle. They'll make a wedge adjustment and also an air pressure adjustment. 4 tire changes expected on McMurray's car. Let's go to Jamie.
And Matt Kenseth, the 17, he said he's loose in, loose off, and tight in the center. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment on that right front, only to a minimum. He's down and away. Shannon?
Well, Kyle Busch is pretty happy with the car right now. Says it's just a little tight in and a little free off. 4 tires and fuel.
Here's the race off of pit road. The 5-car, great pit stop for Kyle Busch's bunch as he is exiting the pits. Mike Bliss in the 22, A.J. Allmendinger in front of Scott Wimmer and Greg Biffle.
Got some damage on Kevin Harvick's car on the right front. Pull it out here on Clint Boyer. Got right in the side of Clint Boyer. Just probably didn't see him. Trying to get around this 41 crew, though. Had to swing a little bit wide.
Looked like his own teammate in the Cup Series got his right front fender. I just started to say Kevin had a lucky break here because he had left side loose lug nuts, one of the tires. He was just really needed a caution. He got it, and now he got hurt on the other side.
Yeah, Brian Clausen making his first ever NASCAR Busch start. He was driving the 41, making his first pit stop. Now we are under caution here for the incident involving Kevin Conway coming out on lap 35. Here is the, watch the contact with the 7 car. Not much. Well, that was a little more there.
Wasn't much the first time, but the second time got him for sure.
And he goes around and just misses catching J.J. Yaley. Here's another look at it.
Now, it's a classic case of a fella getting a little bit loose off the corner, backing out of the throttle a bit to correct it. And, you know, you've got such close quarters. Mike Wallace got in the back of him, got him sideways again. But, again, the 18 was out of the throttle trying to hold on, too. So what do you call that, Andy? Racing? I don't know.
Well, I don't know what Kevin Conway's going to call it.
When people used to tell me that's just racing, I'd have a problem with that. But that was just racing there.
And now look who's leading the race, Mike Wallace.
Lucky Dog goes to the 14 car. That's Kyle Krisiloff. He will be able to get back on the lead lap, and that will put 38 cars on the lead lap. Now there's Kyle, as he will get back on the lead lap, and we are set to go green flag racing. And we are being told the 33 car of Kevin Harvick will be black flagged because he may have run over some equipment on pit road. They're going to bring him down pit road and check the tires. Green flag waves are back underway here at Richmond.
David Rudman was the first car 1 lap down, but he could line up in front of these leaders. He's trying to stay on the lead lap. See, now Kyle Busch is moving past him to put him back down a lap.
Well, Kyle Busch just got an incredible restart. He had so much momentum. He flew right past the outside of Mike Wallace, right past Rudman, and checked out, and now he's got the clean air, which really makes the car handle good. Whenever these cars don't have a car in front of them, boy, they handle so much better. It's unreal.
Even on a short track.
Even on a short track, exactly right. Doesn't make a difference.
12 and 20 car battling for a third spot. That's Hamlin and Newman, Chevy and Dodge.
Now, Newman's really good at this racetrack. You'll see him working the top of the racetrack. Pretty soon you're going to see that's the only place you really can run and be aggressive up there in the top.
Big group of cars here as you ride along with Bobby Labonte on the inside. There is the 6th car. Leading rookie David Reagan. In front of him, Marcus Ambrose, and that's the 88 car right in front of Labonte, Brad Keselowski.
You guys, this is generally where problems happen. When you get side by side and start losing your downforce and entering the corner side by side, that's something. You can see him really stacked up here right now. Almost 3 wide coming off. Keselowski pushing through there, lays against the outside of 77. Needs to throttle back just a little bit before he loses that thing.
And for you Kevin Harvick fans, he has been on now and off pit road. He was black flagged for running over some equipment leaving the pits. He has now been in and out and is back on the racetrack in the 33 car. Now, if that were to happen to him in the Cup race tomorrow night, with him 12th in the points, that could be devastating.
It could definitely put him in a vulnerable spot tomorrow night if this happens, because if Dale Jr. happens to get a top 5 or top 3 finish, and Kevin has a night like he started out here tonight, could definitely swing things.
Well, right now we just heard a little bit of radio transmission from Kevin Harvick. He said, why do I have to pit? And they said, you ran over the air hose or ran over some equipment. Now, he's not wanting to understand that and probably mad right now, but he's going to have to, he had a pit, take that penalty and try to make it back up now.
Probably already frustrated because of the contact on pit road with Clint Boyer.
Well, this is a long race. He's only 1 lap down right now. With a lucky dog, he can probably get that back. He's a good enough car.
Here's Ryan Newman moving to the inside of Denny Hamlin, or trying to, took a peek to the inside of Hamlin. Hamlin just jumped in that throttle and just pulled him off the corner. This is a battle for 3rd position.
You know, this 20 car is tough every time he runs. And when Denny gets in this car, it's just amazing how fast this car runs. This organization has absolutely got this 20 car figured out for Denny. Every single week we watch him run, he's always a factor.
These guys are good, but guess what? This guy is real good. That's the difference. Kyle Busch has led 3 times for 40 laps of the 48 we have run thus far tonight. Tomorrow, the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series takes control of this track for the Chevy Rock and Roll 400. Kevin Harvick won here last fall. Jimmy Johnson conquered it in the spring, but it's the last race before the chase, so anything can happen. The Chevy Rock and Roll 400 at Richmond on ABC. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And by the way, there are 4 Chevys starting in the top 5 tomorrow night, with Jimmy Johnson and teammate Jeff Gordon on the front row, other teammate Kyle Busch starting 3rd. Good battles going on around the racetrack. The 6, 03, and 11. These guys battling for position.
Now, right now, I'm putting my money on the 03 of Todd Bodine. He's got more experience than the rest of them here, except for maybe Jason Keller just a little bit. This Toyota that Todd's driving is really a strong car. He's going to run more races. He told me he's going to try to run all the races next year.
Close call right there with the 37 car. Getting a little bit out of shape.
That's John Graham, the road racer, running a very infrequent oval track event. We've only had 2 caution flags thus far in the first 58 laps. Unfortunately, one of them involved our in-race reporter, Kevin Conway. Dave?
And Doc, he can smile about it now, but it was tough going out there. What happened, Kevin, coming off of turn 2?
We started the race and we were extremely tight, and got a little bit loose up off turn 2, and the 7 car got into the back of us and turned us into the wall. It's just so easy to, when you're on somebody's bumper, when somebody checks up, it happens very, very quick. So just an unfortunate night. I feel honored that ESPN allowed me to be the in-race reporter and wasn't able to help you guys out too much tonight, so I feel bad for that. But looking forward to taking the Z-Line Design Chevy to Kansas in a couple weeks and go back after it and have another great run there and put this behind us.
All right, guys. Kevin sat in the car for a couple minutes. Then the team gave him the slash throat sign and said, this car is too wrecked to continue.
Make it only a 6th start of the year and his 12th career start. Good battles all around the racetrack, and a couple of drivers here that are really sort of starting to cut their teeth in this series. You look at the 21 car. That is Tim McCready. And behind him, the 41 car, making his first ever NASCAR Busch Series start, 18-year-old Brian Clausen.
These guys have been all jammed up in a knot right here. They've been bumping and banging, and earlier Stephen Wallace got in the back of the 1 car just a little bit, got him sideways. The 41 car, Clausen and Wallace been racing side by side, but now he's doing a good job. Brian's getting his car through traffic, getting himself to the front. Car looks pretty good. This is a Ganassi car. This car reads orange and generally drives.
You talk about everything a young man does to be able to get a chance to drive in NASCAR, but in order to be good in the car, you got to be good outside the car. We asked young Brian Clausen, what did you have to do to be able to go meet with the Memorex folks, your sponsors?
I had to get a hall pass to go meet with Memorex and to fly to Minnesota. I got out of third period, I think it was English class, and just hopped on a plane at noon and was up meeting with the CEOs and the bigwigs of Memorex that same day. And we got talking about just my age and stuff like that, and they're like, he's probably the only one in here that needs a hall pass. Needed a hall pass to be here today.
That was a few months ago, and at the time he was just 17 years old and a senior at Noblesville High School. He just graduated in June and turned 18. How about having to get out of English class to go meet with a potential multi-million-dollar sponsor for your NASCAR ride?
Hey, man, whatever it takes. I'd get out of class, too, if I know I'm going to get a NASCAR ride and be talking to a big company like Memorex. Hey, nothing wrong with that, as long as your teacher lets you do it.
Yeah, my teacher would say, yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, here's another development driver in the 21. That's Tim McCready. Mike?
Well, Doc, Tim McCready is going through a bit of a learning curve. Of course, his background is in dirt track racing. This has been quite an adjustment, adjusting to air pressures, adjusting to longer races, and learning the line around the racetrack. That's what his spotter, Mike Dillon's been helping him with all night long.
You can slow your center corner speed down in 1, 2 down there just a little bit. You're real good 3 and 4. Don't roll too fast before the center down here. Work on getting off the corner better. That's a good corner. But whatever you got to do to get, when you go back to the gas, be able to go back to it.
He got another good piece of advice as well, Doc, from his crew chief, Shane Wilson, who told him, use a lot of give and take because he knows that he's not going to get the same respect on the racetrack that Kevin Harvick does when he drives that car.
Exactly, Mike, and that is Kevin Harvick that's on behind him right there that normally drives that 21 car. For Richard Childers, Kevin driving his own car, the 33 to not damage on the fender. Had to make the stop on and off pit road, lost a lap, and Harvick being shown currently back in the 38th position, 1 lap down.
Well, that's one bad thing about Harvick, but the good thing is he's running speeds that are almost faster than the leader out there. So he's looking pretty good right now if he can get that lucky dog. Brian Vickers in the 10 car. He's been strong every time he gets in this Braun Toyota. Trent Owens, a crew chief in this car, and it doesn't surprise us at all how good that car runs. Dave?
And Rusty, he was in the top 10 when they pitted under that caution. He was looking for some work on that car, loose in, tight in the center. Unfortunately, when they jacked the car on the right side, they didn't go enough pumps, and they didn't get the car all the way up. The guys couldn't remove the right side tires, so it took him an extra time. It cost him time on pit road. He lost about 10 positions, restarted 20th. He's worked his way back up, I believe, inside the top 15 now.
Doesn't take much on a pit stop to lose a lot of spots. These guys are so competitive down there. And you miss that, just that jack deal. You missed getting it up. It can cost you 2 or 3 seconds, man. It can cost you 10, 12 spots.
Battle on the racetrack between the 66 and the 1, and they have been going back and forth. That is 20-year-old Stephen Wallace in the 66 car, and of course the 1 is the veteran J.J. Yaley. Now earlier, let's show you what happened about 15, 18 laps ago. Watch the contact here with these guys.
The 41 comes up, and the 1 checks up a little bit. Steven gives him a little tap. They gather back up. JJ, being the veteran he is, realizes what happened. But the one thing everybody's got to realize is that 5 car is coming quick, and these guys have got to drive hard.
Wallace about to be lapped by the 5 car, and that would mean that there would be only 26 cars on the lead lap. He goes by the 27th place car. And Kyle Busch is having the kind of night thus far that only drivers can dream about. On a very tough, tight, 3/4-mile racetrack, Kyle Busch has led 3 times for 65 of the 73 laps we've had thus far. It's been Kyle Busch thus far. Back with more from Richmond in a moment.
At the Emerson 250 for the NASCAR Busch Series, live from Richmond International Raceway in Virginia. Kyle Busch continuing to motor along out in front, and our aerial coverage for tonight's race brought to you by Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR, helping NASCAR drivers get to the finish line for over 50 years. Great crowd out watching the climax of what's been a long day of action here at the racetrack. Started at 8:30 Eastern time this morning with Busch Series practice. On the air today, you've seen Busch Series and Nextel Cup final practice. We had Busch Series qualifying, Nextel Cup Bud Pole qualifying, and now 250 laps. And Kyle Busch is trying to make it all his own show.
Oh, Kyle Busch is checked out, but I'll tell you, David Reagan along with A.J. Allmendinger, who's up to 8th place, they're both having great runs. But as you see right now, here comes that 60 car. He's going to get in the mix. I think Carl Edwards has something to prove tonight, even though he's our points leader.
Hasn't had a top 10 finish in over a month. And another guy to keep an eye on, the guy he's racing for that third spot, Denny Hamlin in the 20, Chesterfield, Virginia, his hometown. If Hamlin gets to the front and wins this race, this large crowd will go crazy. Certifiably crazy.
Absolutely. It will come unglued here tonight.
Kyle Busch has led all but 8 laps of the race tonight, but a good race for third going on here as we go back upstairs to Doc.
Thank you, Alan and Brad. We have covered everything. Well, here is Carl Edwards now trying to get back on the roll that he was on the first part of the year, diving underneath the 20 car of Denny Hamlin, and he will take the spot away. Shannon?
Well, that's right. Denny Hamlin told me before this race started that in the spring, his car was very tight on this track. So in order to compensate for that, they set up their car pretty loose going into qualifying and gave some stuff up. He told me. Now he is battling a tight race car again. Denny Hamlin currently running fourth.
'88 car, Brad Keselowski, for a number of laps was running behind a couple of other cars trying to be patient. Here's the young man. It's only in his 7th start here for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Riding behind Todd Bodine. He sat there, and he finally said, you know what? I got to go.
Yeah, he's just tired of messing around back there right now. He can't get around him, and so he just got real aggressive. And I got to bet that Dale Jr.'s got there going, come on, let's get going, man. And look at this. This was almost real big right here.
He's not driving like a man that's thinking about that wreck last week. He's driving hard, man.
And speaking of that wreck last week, how can you forget this? But this young man is incredible. Here's what happened. Lap 67, 190 miles an hour up across the wall. Car erupts into flames. He was flown out by helicopter to Loma Linda Medical University for x-rays and CAT scans. Folks, he had a couple of bruises, and that is all. That just goes to show you how safe these race cars really are. Brad?
Yeah, I spent time talking with Brad Keselowski yesterday while we were down in the pit area, and I asked him, I said, everyone's asked you about the crash, obviously. What are your thoughts? He says, well, I'm trying to forget about it and move on. He says, obviously, it was a hard impact, and I'm thankful that the safety advancements helped me walk away from that crash. I said, you know what? You know why you were able to walk away with that thing unscathed? He says, why? I said, because you're 23 years of age. That helps a ton. But he wants to forget about it and not think about it.
Well, Brad, I interviewed him earlier, and he said, I'm a race car driver. I forget about those things. I've had hard wrecks before, not as bad as last weekend, but you just move on. And right now, he knows his boss, Dale Earnhardt Jr., is watching from the pit box. He's watching and listening to everything Brad is doing. Now, something else to note, Dale Jr., it's no secret, he's going to Hendrick Motorsports next year, and the fruits of that labor and of that transition are paying off. This car that Brad is in right now is the first car built by Hendrick Motorsports. So, guys, Brad told me earlier today they could get a top 5 in this car tonight.
Well, you got Kyle Busch leading the 5 car right now, a car like Brad Keselowski's driving, so he's got to be feeling pretty good about that. I mean, to get one of those Hendrick cars is incredible.
How about A.J. Allmendinger? He is coming to life in that 42 car. It's only the second time he has ever been in a Busch car. You saw he was involved in that accident last week, so even though he gained 20 spots in about 30 laps, he didn't get the finish in California. He's doing a heck of a job here tonight.
And that's his backup car. He crashed early in the practice session, the very first practice this morning. Hadn't run but just a few laps, and he spun the car getting into turn 1 and backed it in the wall. Jumped right back out here, jumped on the horse, and, man, he is booking.
Well, I tell you, the guy in the way right now is Scott Wimmer, the 29 car. This car's been fast all year long. It's leading the Owners' Championship right now, this Richard Childress-owned car. You see him throwing his hand out the window saying, thank you, Kyle Krislav, for letting me pass you. Look at this telemetry. Let's get off the corner here about 105 miles an hour. The highest speed is going to be at the end of turn 1, where we're about to enter right now, about 140 miles per hour. These guys actually qualify a little faster than that, maybe 150, 155. But these cars really slow down as the tires wear.
Scott Wimmer driving for Richard Childress Racing, and we asked him about the opportunity to drive for a legendary car owner like Richard Childress.
It's kind of the opportunity I've been looking for my whole career. I've always been with single car teams and not a lot of support from sponsors or manufacturers. And I come over to a team like this that has everything. We've got great manufacturer support with Chevrolet, great sponsors with Holiday Inn and AutoZone. And, you know, it's just a big turning point in my career. When I thought that I was kind of done, I was just going to be driving for single car operations, Richard gave me that call and gave me the opportunity to come over here.
This is the 13th time of the year of 16 races he will run in that car. He still will have 2 more or 3 more after tonight before the season is up. Pretty good battle back and forth between Ryan Newman and the 20 car of Denny Hamlin. That is for the 4th position, and Newman now has taken that spot away.
These guys got almost equal cars. They're running the bottom of the track, the top of the track, back and forth. But right now, we only got 19 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Busch is just rocketing around this place, and he's just lapping everybody at such a fast rate. No caution flags are coming, and there's a lot of people falling victim to Busch right now because he's so quick. Now we're down to 18 on the lead lap.
These two guys are in 4th and 5th, I should say. Carl Edwards there is the 3rd place car. And in front of him are Kenseth in 2nd and Kyle Busch as the leader. Moving in on 100 laps of 250 tonight for the NASCAR Busch Series cars. It is stop number 28 of 35 on the $50 million NASCAR Busch Series Tour for 2007. It's been all Kyle Busch thus far. Welcome back to Richmond International Raceway. Kyle Busch making his 14th start of the 2007 season and making it a good one. He has led 3 times for 96 laps thus far. Moments ago, some anxious moments involving the 27 car of Bobby East, making his 7th start here in the NASCAR Busch Series.
See, A.J. Allmendinger get down there and get a little bit loose and slides up into Bobby East. And East gets all the way up in the dirty portion of the racetrack, gets out of the throttle and saves it. Great job out of Bobby East, but I think that A.J. finally understood what aero loose is when you get alongside of a car.
Yeah, it looked like the good thing the 27 car was outside of him, because I think he would have lost the car and maybe hit the wall himself.
Yeah, but this is good stuff what A.J.'s doing. He's getting a lot of track time. He's understanding what these cars do and how not to get himself in these bad positions. And I think he's doing a great job right now, running 10th, and Chip Ganassi and Felix Sabates is number 42 out there.
Bobby East won a USAC sprint race here back in June. I won the Silver Crown race here a year ago. Brad Keselowski trying to stay in front of the 5 car to stay on the lead lap. He is being shown in 17th position. Kyle Busch has been that good. He has now lapped all but 16 cars as he now moves by the 88 car. And guys, what about the 2 car that won this race back in the spring and was so good, Clint Boyer? Same car he won with at Phoenix and here. Jamie?
Well, Doc, the first round of pit stops did not start off the way Clint Boyer would like. As he was exiting his box, his own teammate, Kevin Harvick, wrecked him. Of course, they said it was an accident. It was unintentional, but there's severe left damage on the front left side of that 2 car. Now, he is so frustrated because they've had this long green flag run here, and he's desperately wanting to come in and get it fixed. Now, the man on the radio upstairs, as his spotter, is their teammate, Jeff Burton. He's been the voice of reason, trying to keep Clint Boyer calm under these circumstances. This was on the radio just a few moments ago.
Yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is. See if we can make something out of it. That's all we can do.
Well, that's a voice
And
of Jeff
Boyer right now, guys, 35th position. This is not the run he was looking for. He was hoping to repeat tonight. We'll see if after this next round of pit stops he can get back up there.
Wait, now, that voice of Jeff Burton coming across the radio, the Boyer, another driver, I mean, that really calms you down. I mean, there's reason with it. You know that Clint Boyer knows that Jeff Burton is an incredible driver and just gave him a good piece of advice. And it is what it is. Keep driving. When a caution comes out, we'll fix it. That's what you got to do.
Just went 2 laps down as we saw Kyle Busch go around him.
We have to fix it a lot then.
Yeah.
88 car, Keselowski trying to go by. Doesn't take much, and he's just hanging on. You see him sawing that steering wheel inside the 2-car. It is going to wear you out here, I got to believe, when the car is ill-handling as bad as that one is.
Well, it sure is. There's two things going on here, Jerry. The left front fender has bent in really bad on the 2-car, so he doesn't have downforce on the left front corner, making that car turn. And when he comes off the corner, Andy, that left front's up in the air, making a car loose. So there's actually two problems happening here.
Also, look at it here. He may have even got some damage to the suspension of the car where this contact happened. Looks to me like the front wheels are really not tracking where they need to.
And that could be the biggest problem right there, other than aerodynamics. So you just added a third one on me. You're probably right.
You see he's using that left hand, I think, to wave people by. He said, I'm just hanging on up here for dear life, so he waves the 17 car of Matt Kenseth by on the inside. Back up front, a 5-car of Kyle Busch. He won at Daytona back in July. His Busch Series victory this year. Remember, his very first NASCAR Busch Series win came at this racetrack in very dominant fashion back in May of 2004 when he led 236 of 250 laps. So we know that if he gets a good car, he can dominate on this track.
Still a long way to go. We're not even halfway yet. Matt Kenseth still got a really good car too. He just hadn't been able to get right up on Kyle Busch to challenge.
Kyle Busch has just been mowing these guys down on the bottom and the top of the racetrack. You know, every now and then somebody has a Cinderella year. And the 5-car, driving for Rick Hendrick in this Busch Series has been really good for Cal. Yeah, he's had some bad things happen, some wrecks and stuff like that, but every single time he's drove this car, he's been flying. He's been probably the fastest car out there. You take a look at him, maybe Denny Hamlin, the 60 car early in the year, Carl Edwards, but he's been consistently fast throughout the year. The 5-car of Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch will start third in tomorrow night's NASCAR Nextel Cup Series event, right behind his two teammates, Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. Shannon.
Well, Doc, as Rusty was just saying, yes, it's been a great season for Kyle Busch. He's had 5 top 3s in this number 5 car, but he has only gone to victory lane once. Now, I talked to Alan Gustafson, his crew chief, right before the race started. I asked him if it's been frustrating being so close so many times. He told me that sometimes we're just trying too hard. We have the driver, we have the equipment, we just have to let the race come to us. Looks like they're letting that, they're doing that tonight here.
The race, the racetrack, and the competition are coming to Kyle Busch, and he's going right by him. Trouble on the racetrack. The 37 car has contact with the wall up high, and that will bring out the caution flag for the 3rd time tonight. John Graham trying to get that car refired. Has a flat right rear tire and right front. Now, he had been black flagged by NASCAR for being a little too slow on the racetrack. There's a minimum speed you must run that is within a percentage of what the leader is running, so you don't become a problem on the racetrack. And he had gotten back out on the track and was trying to pick up the pace, and now has contact with the wall.
Well, they were all together, all 3 wide, going at the corner. You can see he drives down low. The 37 comes across his bow, almost takes out Steve Wallace. Steve gets past him. The 37 gets backed up in the wall. A.J. Allmendinger's had a great run tonight. He's currently in 10th, and he was really trying to get past these lap cars. And Jason Luff, a great job out of him getting by that.
This kind of thing happens when you've got a car that's not up to speed, trying to stay out of the way, but you got these guys racing hard for position. You see here, Allmendinger gets into the back of him. Jason Leffler just barely misses this wreck.
This caution flag was a huge break for Jason Keller and David Reagan and Casey Kane. They were the next 3 cars that were about to be lapped by Kyle Busch. But not much of a break here for John Graham, making his first start at Richmond here on the 3/4 mile oval. Pit stops become the order of the day. They come down at 40 miles an hour. Let's go down to Mike Massaro.
And Jamie McMurray has been pretty consistent throughout the evening, running in the 6th position. That's where he is right now. As he heads on down pit road, he was asked how his car was. He said, well, it's really not too bad. A little bit loose, a little bit tight, but nothing really to be too concerned about. They're going to take a round out of the left rear, but he's pretty good. To Dave.
Scott Weber comes in 8th. Just a little air pressure out of the right front to help the car roll through the center of the corner better. Shannon.
Well, your race leader, Kyle Busch, says that it's just slightly having a hard time getting through the turns. Other than that, the car's great. Chassis adjustment and 4 tires.
It looked to me like he's having much trouble getting through the turns. His car looked like it was handling pretty good. I guess it can always be better.
You drivers are all the same, Rusty. No matter how good it is, you want it to be better. Boy, very even, almost a push. You see Wimmer gained a spot, Bliss back one spot, Biffle up 3. And A.J. Allmendinger, who's having a great run here, driving for Chip Ganassi and Felix Sabates. Clint Boyer's a rear tire carrier, Dustin Stanley out of Louisville, North Carolina, watches with his crew camera. Watch what they're doing with the right side of the car.
They're taking a string and putting it on these wheels and trying to see if this toe in is right. They need those 2 front tires tracking each other, going the same direction. And with this contact, they probably knocked the toe in out, and they're checking it here, and they're going to probably adjust on it now. You see they jack the car up, put a stand under it, and then adjust on the toe in.
Trying to get Clint Boyer's car back where he can drive it. If they get it close, as talented as he is, he will be a factor. Problems on pit road. Here's the 7 car, the Geico Chevy of Mike Wallace trying to come on. There's contact, crews trying to go. Close quarters. Boy, it all happens in a hurry here at Richmond. Back with the green in a moment. Back at Richmond International Raceway, 3rd caution flag tonight. We are being told the 26 car has been having a great run tonight. Jamie McMurray was black flagged for driving through pits on pit road. Too many pits on pit road going to his pit.
NASCAR will let you run through about 2 pits coming to yours just so you can get the right angle, but this is too many. They won't let them run through, 5 or 6 pits just to try to get straight.
McMurray was 6th. He had a drive through into the longest line, we should say. That'll put him toward the back of the pack. Here is Kyle Busch. He leads him down to the green flag once again.
Let's see now if Matt Kenseth has anything for Kyle Busch. Got some good tires back on the cars and clean air. No lap traffic to deal with.
Yeah, that was a fairly long run last time, and everybody's cars pretty well settled into where they were going to be. That allowed the drivers to talk to the crew chiefs and tell them what they need. Reagan up high, getting at the dirty part of the racetrack. It's going to take him a while to get those tires cleaned back off.
You better hope he doesn't get up there and get something in a tire and get a flat tire and all that debris.
And there's a lot of debris up there. You saw the car sparking, sliding around. All the debris comes off the cars and goes to the top of the wall, and that's what he just ran through.
He was being shown in 9th position. There are only 16 cars on the lead lap. And that high move a moment ago will cost him about 4 positions. Now back in 14th.
Now the only thing that helped him there, this was on a restart where the tires are pretty cool. If he was later into the run where the tires were very hot, it would pick up all that debris. But that didn't happen this time. It was easier.
The 27 car is Bobby East. We're told he's making just his 7th NASCAR Busch Series start of the year, driving for Bruco Motorsports. And Rusty, when these guys get side by side, even here at the speeds at Richmond, you can have some aerodynamic effects on the cars in the corners.
Jerry, there's a lot of aero effects here. It's primarily getting at the corner or else driving alongside of a car, getting at the corner. It can make you very, very loose. Let's take a look at the 42 of A.J. Allmendinger. He makes a commitment underneath Bobby East. He gets alongside that yellow air coming to his rear spoiler. All of a sudden it gets blocked off because he gets alongside Bobby East. He loses the downforce to the rear spoiler. Because of that, slides up, rams against him, and that is a classic case of getting the aero loose by being right alongside of a car.
These cars rely heavily on that right side to get. They use the side force also. This air doesn't just work on the top of the car and over across the rear spoiler. It also relies on that side force.
The 42 car is A.J. Allmendinger. We might mention this is the 2nd ever NASCAR Busch Series start. He will run 3 more events and then probably be out of the car. Now there is speculation, the possibility that this car could be filled by Dario Franchitti at the end of the year. Dario Franchitti, we are told, may run some ARCA and possibly some Busch events for the remainder of 2007 with this Chip Ganassi team. Brad.
Going back, Doc, talking about A.J. Allmendinger, I spoke to him right before he got in the race car, and I said, you're getting a lot of seat time and a lot of different rides. What's the process? And he says, Brad, every time I take a lap in any of these cars, whether it's the Busch car or the Cup car or whatever, I get better. I just feel like I get more confident, more comfortable, and the more seat time I get, the more of a factor I think I'm going to become as my career goes forward. So this young man's got a lot of confidence, and Chip Ganassi, Felix Sabates is doing a great job giving him seat time. He gets better every week.
Brad, you're absolutely right. That's what he needs. He needs to stay in the car and getting smarter because he keeps missing the races, which he made the one this week in the Red Bull car. But I watched him run those 24-hour Daytona prototypes. He's an incredible road racer. Just really gets the job done. He's kind of like Juan Pablo Montoya, where he's had a lot of experience in road course racing. And when he stepped in these oval cars, it took him a little time, but he really learned quickly. And I'm seeing that right now out of Allmendinger.
Well, look at what happened last week at California. He drove the Busch race, and he had his career best Cup finish of 18th the next day. So it obviously is paying off getting this lap time or this track time here in the NASCAR Busch Series. Speaking of newcomers in the series, 18-year-old Landon Castle in the 24 car. Boy, is Rick Hendrick high on the potential of this young man. Not only is he a really nice young man, this kid has got all kinds of potential, and so much so they've been putting him in their Car Tomorrow test for the Cup car.
And I'm impressed with how clean his car is here on this short track. No more experience than he has. He's been pretty good about keeping his car clean. I think that's one thing you look for in a driver. First thing is he's got to go fast. But then the next thing is try to keep the car clean, keep the fenders on it, because that's important.
He is just 18 years of age, and he is driving for one of the legendary car owners, Rick Hendrick. You got to wonder what he thought about when he was very, very young. In fact, we asked him, what about the dreams when you were very young?
You know, as a little kid, you know, I always wanted to be a race car driver, and I never really, you know, thought of what it would take to get to that level. You know, all the testing and the racing and meeting people and racing across the country and going to big races. Like, you know, when I was a little kid, as far as I was concerned, I was just going to race NASCAR, you know, and that's all that mattered.
Well, he's been really impressive. We watched him in the short tracks this year at Indianapolis Raceway Park, tracks like that. And I said to myself, who is this kid? He's running too fast. I should know him. And I didn't, but he's really showing a lot of us.
Living the dream.
Yeah, he is. And I watched him hang out with Jimmy Johnson, hanging out with Jeff Gordon. Those guys are talking like they've been with each other forever.
Challenge up front. Here comes Matt Kenseth. Something we haven't seen very much tonight is someone coming up on the inside and trying to pass the 5 car.
I've been watching Matt Kenseth, even in that long run, that long green flag run we had. They were dealing with a lot of lap traffic, but Matt's car looked really good. And I was kind of hopeful here we'd have a race when we had the caution, when they could get together here, and now we do.
It's almost like Matt has an alarm on his watch. He sets it, it just goes on. Okay, time to make a move.
Hey, it might be going a little early here for Matt. It's still 109 to go.
Hey, Kyle Busch really drives that 5 car loose. I mean, very seldom do you see him, that car running straight. It's always wagging the tail and moving around. And a lot of the other race car drivers are telling me that, man, this kid can flat drive the loosest car I've ever seen. And I sit back and wonder, how good could he possibly be if he had a little bit more age on him yet? I mean, he is so good at such a young age. Kyle is, and it's fun to watch him.
Well, there now have been 4 official lead changes among 3 different drivers. Matt Kenseth reassumes the lead for the 2nd time tonight. Back with more in just a moment. We welcome you back to Richmond International Raceway in Richmond, Virginia. NASCAR Busch Series racing action. We are 150 lap mark, 100 laps away from the checkered flag. Let's bring you up to speed on the top 10, starting with our leader, Matt Kenseth, and Jamie Little.
Well, he's been complaining that he has no rear grip all night. He said he's sliding up the racetrack, but they did make some small adjustments on that last stop. Obviously, it's paying off as Matt Kenseth took over the lead for the 2nd time tonight over Kyle Busch. Shannon?
Well, Kyle Busch, your pole sitter, is currently running 2nd. Now, he almost won last week at Fontana. He won this race from the pole in 2004. Right now, he says the car is pretty close to grade. Carl Edwards says the car is loose in the centers and off the turns. Now, remember, guys, he is going for 2 championships in this Busch Series, the Drivers' Championship and the Owner Championship here tonight. Jamie.
Well, Ryan Newman can't shake the 4th spot. Last weekend, he qualified 4th in both Busch and Cup, and this weekend, he qualified 4th in Cup and Busch, and he's currently 4th. Ryan Newman told me right before this race, this is his last Busch race. He's going for broke. He has nothing to lose. They want to get a win. They have not won yet this year. So tonight, it's all about fun and getting a win. Shannon?
Well, Denny Hamlin currently running 5th back in his home state of Virginia, looking for his first win here at the track. Says the car is a little tight windshield for Denny Hamlin.
Scott Wimmer pressuring Denny Hamlin now, had him side by side just a lap or two ago. And the reason he's pressuring him is because the 88 let him by. Richard Childress actually called on the radio, see if we can get some help with that 88. And Junior's team relented. That's a lap car of the 88. They let the 29 by, and now he can battle for that spot. Shannon?
Well, Mike Bliss qualified for this race 10th, and he's currently running 7th. Now, he had some problems in first practice today. He was involved in an accident. The team took that car, repaired it, got it back onto the track, and as you can see, Bliss has moved his way into the top 10, so having a great run here at Richmond tonight.
Behind him is Greg Biffle in the 16 car. It's been kind of a lackluster season in the Busch Series for Greg Biffle. 7 DNFs, but guys, he had a second place finish at ORP, and it was in the same car he's in tonight. So far, so good. He started 16th. He's currently 8th. Says all is well. Dave?
The guys mentioned earlier, A.J. Allmendinger making both Cup races the last 2 weeks. One of the big reasons is he understands track position or track conditions because of Busch qualifying. Remember, they qualified their Busch cars today just before Cup cars, and last week he said that helped me tremendously at California. He's put that Cup car in both races and racing this Busch car very well. Behind him, Brian Vickers stuck. He restarted in 10th. He hasn't gone anywhere. It's been tough to get speed out of that 10 car since earlier in the race. It's just not handling the way he wants right now. The 9 car right behind them as well is Casey Kane. Had a vibration earlier. That has gone away. They thought it had to do with how quickly the air pressures came up during that last run. They made some adjustments, including air pressure. He likes it a whole lot better during this run, with just no speed right now, Mike.
And Jason Leffler early in the race was complaining that the car was tight, but it's come back to him. He says it's now turning much better, but the one thing he's still lacking is forward bite. Trouble on the track.
Trouble on the racetrack. The 17 car of Matt Kenseth, our leader, spinning up there. And the 15 car is the reason for the caution flag. That is Paul Menard bringing out caution for the 4th time tonight. Heavy rear end damage on his Chevy. You saw Matt Kenseth's car. He was coming up on the spinning car of Paul Menard. He was there. Kyle Busch was there. Kenseth was the leader. I'll show you what happened there a moment ago. Now watch the 17 moving in on the 15 of Menard.
Now the same thing happens here with Menard, which just happened to Allmendinger early. He got arrow loose, getting into corner, laying the right side up against the car. He laid his side against Stephen Wallace. He got himself loose and spun. Same thing had happened before. You just got to be careful doing that. If you sail it down in there too quick and you don't have enough air, you're going to get loose like that.
17, Andy did a heck of a job just to get that car turned down across and avoid the back of the 15 car. Pits are closed. We are under caution for the 4th time today. Pace car has Kyle Busch, who was able to go back around the 17 car by virtue of that checkup by Kenseth. 17 now being shown back in 4th position. It is Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Ryan Newman, then Kenseth, then Denny Hamlin.
It's a good heads-up move by Kenseth to be able to get back out on the racetrack and still stay in the top 5.
I was watching Brad Keselowski's car. His lap times were almost within a half of a tenth of Kyle Busch, the fellow leading the race. And now looks like Brad's going to be the lucky dog. Looks like he's going to get it and get himself back into this race. And that'll put 17 cars in the lead lap right now.
That's a good break for Brad.
Yeah, real good break for Brad. Now, they last pitted down lap 121. That is 40 laps ago. Here they come down pit road. They should be able to easily make it the rest of the way. Let's go down to Dave.
And Scott Wimmer very happy with the race car that time, just a little free off. He said to his crew chief, Pat, I don't know if I'd change anything, except maybe those 4 tires. Jamie?
And Matt Kenseth came over the radio and said, I can't believe we drove through that. How does my valence look? They're checking it out because he drove through the debris. He said he needs to be tighter off, and we can stay ahead of these guys. They're putting on a set of scuffs. Guys, Shannon?
Well, Jamie, a collective cheer from the number 5 team as Kyle Busch successfully maneuvers through that wreck. They're going to just make some small adjustments to this car. 4 tires, fuel, and he's away.
And scramble off of pit road, the 12 and the 17, a little pushing and shoving there right behind Denny Hamlin. They're still side by side. And Wimmer gets up out of the way. There's the race off of pit road. Denny Hamlin gains 2 spots. Wimmer gains 2. Newman loses a couple of spots, as does Matt Kenseth. Biffle up a spot. And Casey Kane gains 2 positions. It's a push for Brian Vickers and the Toyota. He stays in 10th spot. Great race off of pit road as they're leaving, and it's going to be a gaggle of cars. Here they come, the 20 car, and then 3 wide, 29-12, as these guys are battling to get off of the pits. Green flag in a moment. Speculation that Dario Franchitti may win the championship in the outround and then come run some stock cars at the end of 2007 for Chip Ganassi.
Well, after being upside down so many times in an IndyCar this year, he's probably looking for something with a roll cage, guys.
At a roof.
In a roof, that's right.
Getting set for the restart here. 84 laps to go at Richmond International Raceway. Kyle Busch, the leader. Pace car pulls away. Let's listen in as we go full throttle.
You got to compensate, man. I don't want to lose your spot. Gained on him, baby. Gained on him. Nice corner. Good job. You got real estate right there. Keep coming. Attaboy. Clear. Awesome, man. Stay on him, man. You can still get him. Beautiful. Clear by 3/4. Come back to you, buddy. Clear high. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Inside. Inside. Look where you're going, baby. Look ahead. You need it. Clear high. Come on, man. There we go. We need that spot. Come on, beat him back over here now. You're still clear.
Change the position for second place. Denny Hamlin makes the move underneath the 60 car of Carl Edwards.
And if you're going to strike, this is the time to do it. The pressures are not up on these cars, and one car is going to be handled better than the other for sure on a restart. You just never know which one it is. And right now, Denny Hamlin took advantage of Carl Edwards' misfortune of not getting up to speed quick enough and got around him.
Still real impressed with this 60 team, how they have been able to get this car teamed up. This day didn't start out that good for this team. They had a lot of trouble in practice getting the car to handle right. They've really got it tuned up good here.
80 laps to go here at Richmond, and the 5 car has led 4 times for 145 laps. Now, here's a look at our Castrol Syntec Power and Performance pass of the race. It occurred just before the previous caution flag. The 15 car spinning. Now watch the 5 car make the pass as the 17 car spins. Here goes Kyle Busch to retake the lead.
That's called threading the needle right there, and he shot that baby right between those 2 cars. Very deserving of our award, that's for sure. Take another look, angle this thing. Just stay in the throttle, jab the gas, had to get through there, get it past that. And that, you know, you can see that happening as a driver. You saw the 17 sliding up. The 5 said, I got to go now because he might slide across the front of my bow and take me out with him.
It's just an instinctive move, really. It's not that you can really plan that. You just have to kind of just go with your instinct.
And you just got to watch it, Andy, and adjust to the situation. And if the guy's going high, you go low. If he goes low, you go high. You just got to do it.
Now the guy he passed was the 17 car. There is Matt Kenseth, who lost a couple of spots on that pit stop, being shown now back in the 6th position.
Finding the going a little tougher back here, and further back you get in the field.
When you get back in the field, you lose that downforce in front of your car. You're getting that dirty air, we call it. And when that happens, folks, what happens is the car feels like it's lifted off the ground. It just starts sliding the front tires. You can't get any grip in the back. You can't get any grip in the front. And you see Kyle Busch way up front all by himself. That's the optimum air to be in. You got all the downforce, total grip. Denny Hamlin also right now. Anytime you get away from somebody, that's when you're getting a good grip. When you get side by side, that's when the cars are unstable.
Take a look at the 9 car here, way back in 8th position, but he is on the move. Casey Kane, last time we were on a short track was 2 weeks ago at Bristol, Tennessee, and he started making his move late in the race, and guess what? He picked them off one by one. He only led 10 laps all night at Bristol, but he won the race. His second Busch Series win of the year. Here's a battle for second spot, the 60 car, trying to go back and take that away.
That's a nice, easy pass. He just drove underneath him and passed him and took off, and that was it. And it looks like Denny said, hey, you're quicker, go ahead, man. Yeah, it looks like the 60 car of Carl Edwards stuck his hand out the window and said, hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. It's a very sportsmanlike driving. And these guys got to race together every single week, and they need to drive like that to get the respect out of each other.
Denny Hamlin may have said, I don't have anything for Kyle Busch. You go by me and see if you can catch him. Let's see if anybody can catch him here in the final 72 laps at Richmond. Welcome back to the Emerson 250 Richmond International Raceway. There is Alan Gustafson and Mike Bumgarner and the Kyle Busch crew. And Kyle Busch, all smiles, not only there overlooking the grandstands, but in the car here, having dominated tonight, leading 4 times for 159 laps. Caution on the track, the 6 car, contact with David Reagan.
Got that left front fender tore pretty good in that car, and that's really going to kill the handling of this car. Right front damage, left front damage. We're hearing he's getting black flag. David Reagan, the 6 car. If you stop on the racetrack and intentionally bring out the caution, hey, it's a no-no in NASCAR's eyes. And so looks like he's getting a black flag for that. They're going to hold him in the pit area. And you want to get NASCAR riled up, you do stuff like that, they really get them hot.
On the Goodyear blimp looking down on the race. Now watch the 6 car bottom of your screen.
Gets squeezed into the wall by the 21 car, Tim McCready.
McCready's coming up, the 6 cars approaching from behind. You know, that's kind of whose fault is it? Is it McCready's or is it the 6 car?
It's just hard racing.
It is hard racing, Andy. It's really hard to put a blame on anybody.
But here's what NASCAR really frowns on. He just pulls the car to a stop and draws the caution flag. NASCAR has no choice now but to throw the caution. But they're going to take away any advantage that David Reagan would have gained by trying to bring this caution flag out.
They're also going to take a lap away, and there's a very animated discussion going on down there in his pits. Mike Kelly talking to the NASCAR officials while they're working to try to cut some of this fender away.
There's 2 sides to every story, that's for sure. And you never know what's happened. A lot of times a driver's concerned if he goes, it's going to blow the tire off the car. And why he just stopped, we'll find out later. But that was a tough one. NASCAR didn't like that one, that's for sure.
Aerial coverage from high above Richmond International Raceway, brought to you courtesy of our good friends at Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR, helping NASCAR drivers get to the finish line for over 50 years. Back in just a moment. Back in Richmond, we just gone green flag racing, and Kyle Busch rockets into turns 1 and 2 with Carl Edwards in close pursuit.
His restarts have just been incredible. I mean, he's just been spot on, not missing a gear, and really getting aggressive on those starts. Take a look at Carl Edwards working that top side. 60 laps to go. Carl knows he's running out of time. If he's going to do something with Busch, he's got to get it done.
The one guy that has had something for Kyle Busch is Matt Kenseth in that 17 car. He's worked his way back up the 4th spot. If he can ever get in position, I think he's got something for Kyle Busch.
Laps winding down, and some of the issues these drivers are discussing here with their crews. Listen into the 20 car of Denny Hamlin.
Denny, I don't think it's you. I just think my brake opening isn't enough, or I got the wrong brakes on. Your front rotors are just getting too warm. Say that again? Front brakes are starting to show a little heat.
Well, to help explain what they're talking about, let's go down to our Chevy Cutaway car and Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Jerry. What they're talking about right here, folks, if you don't utilize every square inch of airflow in the front of the car to blow down the hoses and utilize the fans to get back in this area to cool the caliper, you're going to be in big trouble, because the weak point in the braking system is right behind the piston. That's where the fluid is accumulating right here. The piston's getting out here because of pad wear. You're going to have a bigger area here, more fluid in this chamber, and once that fluid begins to boil, the pedal gets soft, gets spongy, goes away. No brakes here at Richmond, Virginia is not a very good feeling towards the end of this event.
Thank you, Tim. For more information on brakes, log on to ESPN.com, search word safety. Speaking of safety, the caution has been waived again for the 6th time tonight here on lap 195, just 55 laps away from the checkered flag.
Heavy damage on the 88 car, Brad Keselowski. The whole left side is caved in. The air dam's knocked off. He looks like he got really driver's side first in the wall really hard. Yeah, something similar to what happened last week.
It's two hard wrecks in a row now for Brad Keselowski. It looks like he's really tagged the wall pretty good here.
Having a good run, being shown in the top 17. 88 car.
The 3 wide entering the corner.
Looks like the 35 car of Bobby Hamilton Jr. got in the back of Brad. Looks like they were all slowing down pretty quickly. Bobby didn't have any room to go. He got sandwiched in the middle of the 38 of Jason Leffler and the 88 at Brad Keselowski, and it just caused this crash. I mean, that hole started closing up.
It's kind of like a funnel effect getting in the corner. Just wasn't enough room.
Well, second week in a row, this young man has had a heavily damaged car, and after having a good run here for the first 190-plus laps, he brings home the Navy Chevy that is going to have to go back to the garage area for some serious repairs. Dale Earnhardt Jr. getting set to go down. And take a look. Newman, Kenseth, Denny Hamlin, Carl Edwards, and Kyle Busch. That's the top 5 with less than 55 laps to go.
This telecast of the NASCAR Busch Series is available in high definition on ESPN2 HD, presented by Vizio. Coming to a restart with what will be 50 laps to go in tonight's 250-lapper for the NASCAR Busch Series. And Brad Daugherty, one time tonight. Matt Kenseth ran down and passed Kyle Busch for the top spot. Can he do it in these final 50 laps?
You know, Alan, how many times has Kyle Busch been leading a race this year, and we're sitting here saying, this cat is checked out, he's going to win, something happens. I don't want to jinx him, but I think Kyle Busch is on his way to a victory tonight. We will see what happens.
Here's the problem. Kenseth's got to pass a couple other guys first before he gets the chance at Kyle, Doc.
And he's going to have to do it in a hurry. Only 51 laps to go. It'll be 50 this time by. Pace car is going to pull away. Let's listen in as Kyle Busch leads him down, and we go full throttle.
Green. All right, green flag, come on.
Yeah. You got it. By 2 in your lane. I don't see. You're fine.
Clear all around. Check it up.
Outside.
99 in between you guys. Check it up. Clear your lane up high. Outside behind.
Clear all around. Go by 1.
You heard the spotter say checking up. That was the 11 car of Jason Keller that got to check up and get out of the throttle off of turn 2. It stacked up some cars behind him, but they were all able to get by, but they are really jammed up here. There is Keller, left side of your screen, in the 11 car. That is 10th through 17th right there.
And these restarts, these guys are going wild. They can see they're running out of laps. 48 laps to go right now. And everybody wants to get in position. A lot of them are racing for this lucky dog. J.J. Yelly and McCready, Wallace, Stephen Wallace are all going for it right now.
Here's 4th, 5th, 6th. That is Kenseth, Newman, and Scott Wimmer now looks to the inside of Newman. That's for position.
These caution flag laps were good for the 20 car of Denny Hamlin to cool his brakes. I heard him talking about the brakes being hot. That really does help when you get these caution flags to cool them down, so we see him strong again, pulled away from these guys just a little bit.
Now he can take and adjust some of that balance in his brakes to the rear of the car, but that might start getting him loose, getting in the corner. And I thought we heard the crew chief say, hey, Denny, it might be our fault. We might have chose the wrong brake pad for you. That does two things. That could be true. The other thing, the crew chief took the blame instead of blaming him on Denny.
Last time by, Carl Edwards just ran a lap faster than the leader. The 60 car getting better and better. We saw what happened at Bristol when he really came on late in the race. 29 car of Scott Wimmer. Remember, that's the battle for the owner's points lead. 29 car has the owner's points lead after Jeff Burton won at California last week, and Carl Edwards finished back in the 26th position.
Newman's been hanging in there all night long. Ryan Newman, the Kodak Dodge, has been solid throughout the night. They've had good pit stops. The engines in these cars, we've talked about it. Brad down there in pit studio and I were talking along with Andy that these guys have been incredible. Their engine program has at Penske Racing. You saw what Kurt Busch has been able to do at 2 tracks that require a ton of power, which is Pocono, Pennsylvania, Michigan.
41 car has been black flagged. He is on pit road. That's Brian Clausen, the youngster, making his first Busch Series start. Smoke billowing from the back of that car for Chip Ganassi Racing. See the NASCAR officials checking for any fluid out of the car. They brought him in to check, and they've looked the car over, and they will let him head back onto the racetrack.
And I really like to give a call out to Brian Clausen, too, because he has kept that car out of trouble tonight. He's looked really good throughout the night. Just a misfortune problem with something causing the smoke problem, but he did a good job driving the car, guys.
And action up front here, the 17 and 20 cars. You talked about Kenseth. He's got to get there in a hurry. Now makes the pass for 3rd position. But he might have had a little help from a 20 car, just having some issues in the corner, Andy.
See, 20 car's up real high on the racetrack right here, and he just about loses the car coming off. Gives up the spot here to Matt, and he's still trying to fight on the outside to keep it, but I think Matt's going to be able to take it from him.
I'm surprised that car's that loose on the top side of the racetrack because generally when you move to the top, it really hooks the car up, makes it handle better. But that time, he might have picked the throttle up so early in the center of the corner, that late exit of the corner, that baby came around on him and got loose on him. But
Stephen Light, the 90 car, the 59, Marcus Ambrose. Battles on the racetrack here. These guys are back in 22nd, 23rd, and such back in the pack here. 3 wide. That is Bobby Labonte on the outside.
And Richard Johns in the 25 car in the middle of all this.
Richard Johns just wanting to get side by side instead of 3 wide. He's had himself accidentally 3 wide many times just trying to get out of this gaggle of cars, but he keeps finding himself stuck in the middle of this, and it's really hurting his speed and probably scaring him a little bit. Maybe it's hard sideways.
It's hard to stay out of the way on a short track.
Yeah, Bobby Labonte in the 14th spot in the 77 car. Ambrose is 15th. Biffle is 16th, and Hamilton Jr. in 17th. Those are the last cars that are actually on the lead lap. Here is Hamlin trying to go back around the 17 car. Couldn't quite get the car to stick that time.
Well, a lot of the times when he made a mistake like Denny did, just getting too hot up off the corner, getting loose, he knows what he did wrong. Let him cool it down and take another run at the 17 car at Kansas to see what he can do.
36 laps to go at Richmond International Raceway. It has been a dominating performance by Kyle Busch, who has led 4 times for 189 laps. Back at Richmond International Raceway, laps are winding down here in the 250-lap NASCAR Busch Series event. Kyle Busch dominating performance. Carl Edwards in 2nd. Matt Kenseth 3rd. Denny Hamlin 4th. And Ryan Newman in 5th spot. Mike Bliss back in 6th. By the way, great run from Bliss in the 22 car. Let's go down to Shannon.
Well, Doc, the number 60 team really struggled with this car all day in practice and in qualifying. But the car has really come to Carl during this race, currently running 2nd. He radioed this into his team just a little while ago.
Pretty good. I mean, I'm really proud of you guys for getting this thing as good as it is. It's the best car I've had here, I think, ever. You know, we've competed head-to-head with these guys on tires, so we'll see if it works.
Well, we've said many times Carl Edwards does have a large points lead on the driver's side of the championship. He is going for that owner's championship. Says that's something that keeps him up at night. Talked to Pierre Cattell, his crew chief, and he says, I know some weeks will struggle, some weeks will be great, but we just got to take it week by week. Well, right now, they're doing great, running 2nd.
They've worked hard on this car. I mean, I'm watching what this car looks like, and they've had a lot of problems keeping that air dam you're watching right now low to the ground. And a lot of times this year it's way high. Talked to Greg Biffle, I've talked to Edwards. They don't know what caused it, but it looks like they fixed the problem here at this track. This car looks normal now. It looks like Carl can drive it.
Speaking of working hard, the 88's coming back on the racetrack. Dave?
And they worked very hard, Doc, just to get this car rolling. A lot of suspension damage on the left front, and they thought they might have the steering not working, but Brad could turn the wheel, so they patched it back together and sent it back out. One interesting thing he said on the radio to the crew, he said, guys, was there anybody else below the 35 car? And they said, yeah, one other car. And he said, I didn't know that. So he really didn't know they were 3 wide going into the corner, and that's one of the reasons he got caught up in that whole thing.
Yeah, that was Jason Leffler that was there with the 35 car, Bobby Hamilton. Of course, he happened to be on the high side and got the worst end of the damage there. The 90 car of Stephen Light is owned by Robert Yates. And in a bit of news earlier today, Robert Yates announced his intentions to retire as president of Robert Yates Racing effective at the end of the 2007 NASCAR Nextel Cup season. He said he'll turn the entire operation over to his son, Doug. It'll be called Yates Racing. He said, I'm looking forward to this closing this chapter of my life. Can't wait to see what's going to happen next. He and his wife Carolyn look forward to watching Doug build Yates Racing into a championship caliber team. So Ricky Rudd, his longtime buddy, is going to retire at the end of the year. And now Robert Yates retiring, turning the operation over to his son Doug Yates. And the speculation is that they may have already found a driver for 2008.
They certainly turned it over into capable hands because Doug Yates has done such a great job with the engine department, and all of the Roush Yates engine department is all run by Doug Yates, and I'm sure he's going to do a great job building this team.
Well, those guys are some of the most respected people in all of racing, and, you know, good job for Robert Yates Racing. He deserves it. It's like Travis Quapple is going to be the new driver of the 88 car they're announcing, we've been hearing. But back to Robert Yates. I'm so glad. I'll tell you what's going to happen, Jerry. When he retires, he's going to ride his motorcycle to the races. He's going to hang out in the mountains. He's going to go to the beach. And you know the other thing he's going to do? He can do whatever he wants to do.
Like Andy Pickering did when he retired as a car owner. Spend some of that money you got in the bank. Trying to get the lucky dog is Stephen Wallace, who's currently in 18th position. He is 1 lap down, and if the caution were to come out, Stephen will get back on the lead lap.
And he's fighting the guy behind the 38 car. The 38 car is actually a lead lap car, Jason Leffler. But J.J. Yaley in the 1 car is who Stephen is fighting for this spot to try to stay in position for the lucky dog.
Stephen's car has been really good throughout the night. It was loose when they first started. He's 18th right now and having one of the better runs he's had.
Battle for 7th position. Wimmer in the Chevy, Vickers in the Toyota. The 29 of Wimmer, the 10 of Brian Vickers.
Another good solid run out of Brian Vickers in Braun's car. This Braun Racing Toyota. He's been very, very impressive on the fast racetracks, the Michigans, the Californias. Laying right up against the wall, running fast. Dave, you got to agree, this guy's been pretty impressive.
And the Toyota engineers are very pleased with the feedback he gives them in race. Remember at Michigan, he gave a lot of feedback about the RPMs coming off the corner. This week, he's given them some more information about actually idling down pit road. He said it's kind of a dead spot in the RPM range coming down pit road. Not the worst I've ever had, but you might want to know that. So the feedback very good from this experienced driver.
Brian Vickers led 19 laps in this car at Michigan. He led 37 laps at California last week and was caught up in an accident with just 9 laps to go. So he has driven this car extremely well in the last 3 times he's been in this Busch Series car.
Trent Owens, a crew chief on this number 10 car, a really seasoned fella. Kind of flies underneath the radar. A lot of people don't know Trent, but really good at shock absorbers, really good at setting the chassis up and things like that. He's very impressive. See the 12 car really racing the 20 car, Denny Hamlin. 15 laps to go right now. These guys are running out of time because you can get 15 laps done around this racetrack pretty quick.
42 car of A.J. Allmendinger has spun, and that will bring out the caution flag for the 7th time and set up one heck of a shootout here in what could be less than about 7 or 8 laps to go.
Doesn't have any damage really. He's got some tire marks.
Allmendinger was running in the 10th position, and a break for Steve Wallace. He gets back on the lead lap. He is the lucky dog, so that great effort for driving, holding off J.J. Yaley, puts him back on the lead lap. Let's listen into our Leaders Radio here for Kyle Busch.
You ain't gonna believe it. What's up, bud? Right rear's going down. Show your fan off. We're ready if you gotta come.
17 car, Kenseth coming down pit road. Here comes Denny Hamlin down pit road now. Less than 15 laps to go. These guys are going to come down and grab some fresh tires. Here comes Wimmer. Here comes McMurray. Dave.
They want to fix the middle of the corner for Scott Wimmer. It's been tight. He's had no grip coming off the corner. They'll just make an air pressure adjustment, but that fresh rubber is going to help this 29 more than anything else. Jamie.
And Matt Kenseth in 4 tires, fuel, no adjustments. He comes in third. Guys, let's see if he can hold it together and bring it home for his first win. Shannon?
20 car, Denny Hamlin also coming onto pit road. Now these guys are going to have fresh tires. And the 5 car stayed on the racetrack. But remember, inside of 10 laps to go in the restart, it's a single file restart with the lead lap cars up front. Now, what about the radio transmission? You heard Kyle Busch saying he thought he had a tire going down.
He must have been getting pretty loose, thinking maybe he had a right rear down. We can't see that it is from our camera angles here.
Well, it doesn't look like he's got a problem with the right rear. A lot of times drivers feel that, but his tire looks fine from our camera angle, and I think he's totally fine with that tire issue.
The only problem he might have are these guys that just pitted for fresh tires. They've got enough time left. They might be able to get up there to him. He looks like Kyle Busch has got a few cars here, a buffer between him and these guys that took tires. You got Carl Edwards, Ryan Newman, Mike Bliss, Brian Vickers all staying out.
18 cars on the lead lap, and this is shaping up to be a typical Richmond shootout here inside the final 10 laps. They call it the action track because when the laps click down, it gets hairy here on the short track.
And I tell you, this is the time of the race where it just makes me want to tear my fingernails out. I get so fired up because you know these guys are going to go after it. They're going to be tearing these cars up, and this is the part where the caution flags come out and problems happen. You just don't know who's going to cause it and what's going to happen.
Again, caution for the 42 car that spun. And the 29 car has been on pit road for an air pressure and adjustment to be able to get the car of Wimmer to turn. The 17 car, 4 fresh tires. That's Kenseth. The 20 car, Denny Hamlin, 4 fresh tires. Do they have enough laps with the fresh tires to catch this guy up front?
Depends how many restarts you get, Jerry. If the guys with fresh tires can pass 4 or 5 cars and a caution flag come out and that happens again, they can catch these guys.
Here's the reason for the yellow. Watch the 42 car, top of your screen. Might have gotten a little tap from behind. It's hard to tell if there was some contact between him and the 03.
Well, I've never seen anybody spin out in a straight line at the start-finish line all by themselves, so it's a good idea that they might have got a little close.
Might have been a little nudge there. Allmendinger having a great run. He was running in the 9th position. Only his 2nd ever NASCAR Busch Series start.
Jerry, they always tell me never to speculate, so I'm not going to do that, but kind of strange looking a car spinning out in the straightaway.
Aerial coverage from high above Richmond, courtesy of our good friends at Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR, helping NASCAR drivers get to the finish line for over 50 years. All right, guys, what do you think? Can Kyle Busch hang on? Or one of these guys going to run through the field here and catch him?
I really think that Kyle Busch can hang on to it as long as they don't have a lot of caution flags. I think they can get it done.
Well, Carl Edwards, he isn't finished yet. He's got the best shot at Kyle Busch right here, especially if he's having a little problem. He says he might be loose or might be losing a tire.
Does Kyle Busch have a tire going down? We're going to find out. He's going to jam the throttle on, and here we go, folks. It'll be 9 laps to go to the checkered flag. Can Kyle Busch hang on? Ryan Newman trying to get to the high side of the 60 car for 2nd spot. Off of turn 2, Newman takes a spot.
Kyle Busch got a great jump.
Kyle's got to run just like he's had all night long, and Newman got the tires cleaned off, and he got a good start himself. On these short tracks, you really got to get all the debris off the tires to get the grip, and it looks like Carl didn't do too good a job of that compared to Newman.
Newman's on a mission here.
Kyle Busch, Newman, 60 car. Here come the fresh tires. They're up to 9th place, but they got cars in front of them. They're sort of locked in there. The 17 car, Kenseth, trying to get underneath Marcus Ambrose. Again, here's Edwards trying to get back by Newman for 2nd spot. Great side-by-side action, and while these guys battle here, Kyle Busch pulls away by some 12 car lengths. 17 car now making a move inside the 11 car. While you watch this battle, that's Kenseth all the way up to 7th spot with 6 laps to go.
Well, those guys were just 3 wide coming off of turn 4, really going for it to 29, to 20, to 26 of Jamie McMurray. They're still 3 wide going at turn 1 right now. Nobody's wanting to give nothing up. We got 6 laps to go, and they got to get all they can right now.
Trying to take advantage of these fresh tires.
Scott Wimmer taking a move inside. The 28 car has a problem. That's Derek Cope. And a lot of smoke billowing from that car. If they bring out the caution flag, this will be a whole different race here because the 17 car is now all the way up to 6th position. Wow.
Looks like there's some oil coming out from underneath this 28 car.
These cautions just keep breeding cautions for some reason. It always happens. And you just about the time you think they're going to bring it home and finish this race, something like this happens.
Yeah, NASCAR had no choice. They saw fluid or something coming out from beneath the 28 car, and because of safety, they had to bring out the caution. And there's the smoke out of the back of the car of Derek Cope, and that will bring out caution for the 8th time tonight. We should have one heck of a shootout when we come back.
Back at the Richmond International Raceway, tonight's 250-lap NASCAR Busch Series race is red flagged. Less than 3 laps from the checker's scheduled waving distance. And this is something that is relatively new in NASCAR. It's just about 10 years old, the policy of stopping a race in the late laps if there's a mess on the track to clean it up. And this is the place that it started. 1998, Dale Jarrett in the Yates 88 car is leading the Nextel Cup race when there's a big mess in turn 2, debris strewn all over the racetrack, and for the first time, NASCAR stopped the cars on the racetrack, cleaned up the race, and restarted it. Remember, this was before the green-white checker finish came about, and Terry Labonte on the right beat Dale Jarrett for the win in those final laps when, if they'd let the race finish under the yellow, DJ would have taken the checkered flag. It was a first for NASCAR then, back in '98.
Yeah, as a fan all those years, you'd watch the races, and if something happened, sometimes the races would just finish under caution. You love that. When they started stopping it, giving those shootouts for 5, 10, or 3 laps. It's exciting. This is going to be incredible 3 laps here.
And kind of an ironic thing, Dale Jarrett was involved in the incident that led to the beginning of the green-white checker rules, too. A scary crash up in New Hampshire several years ago. So they're stopped on the front stretch. Red flag. Carl Edwards is going to have another shot at Kyle Busch when we finish this thing up.
Our NASCAR Busch Series coverage at Richmond tonight has been brought to you by Can-Am ATVs. The ride says it all. And by freecreditreport.com. Stay on top of your credit score and credit report at freecreditreport.com. Under a red flag condition here with 247 laps complete of 250. And the drama building now for these final few laps. So he had the oil on the racetrack from Derek Cope's car. They've had to clean all that up. These cars are parked on an angle so that if for some reason they wouldn't start, they could roll down what little banking there is there and get them to refire. Now the big question is that Kyle Busch has led 4 times for 222 laps. He is trying to hang on, but what about the guys back there who made those fresh tire changes back in 6th, 7th, and 9th? That, of course, is Kenseth, Hamlin, and Scott Wimmer.
It would have been a great decision if more of the cars had followed him down pit road, and I think that's what they probably had in mind when Matt Kenseth came down pit road. He's thinking, man, I hope a lot of them come behind me, because then they would have those guys sitting out there sitting ducks. But some of those guys stayed out, and they left a little buffer there, so Matt Kenseth's got his work cut out for him.
Now, with just 5 laps to go, guys, it's going to be so hard to catch Kyle Busch right now. If anybody's ever dominated anything, this guy has just put a dominating race on throughout the night. And we've seen a little rough driving out there, little spins, couple beats and bangs, but pretty calm race for Richmond so far. But it is absolutely, without a doubt, going to be a shootout with 5 to go.
You know, back in the spring, Matt Kenseth got one taken away from him, a little hiccup late in the race, and he had the car to beat, and he had a problem on pit road, and he lost out on getting the win, ended up finishing 2nd. So he certainly would love to be able to come back and make up for that loss on back in May. Now, we will be here for NASCAR Nextel Cup Series action. It's the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern time on ABC. Our entire NASCAR Nextel Cup chase to the championship on ABC, and it begins here tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern time for the final race to the chase. The big questions are, can Dale Earnhardt Jr. get it done? Can he get in the top 12 in the race to the chase? Well, what's going on between in the mind of Kyle Busch and Alan Gutz and the entire 5 team? Let's listen to their radio here just a moment ago.
The last time I won here, there was 10 cautions in the last 20 laps.
Yeah, I think it's almost every Richmond.
You know, this place, these drivers get very nervous, especially Kyle Busch right now, where he's leading this race. It's 5 laps to go, and he's thinking, what in the world can go wrong right now? He just wants this restart to happen and get out of there. But he better be happy he's up front versus being in the back of that pack.
Well, he had it made. You know, if the caution hadn't come out, he was cruising to victory. Now he's got to really fight these guys off.
Total domination by Kyle Busch tonight. He has led 4 times for 223 laps, the most laps he has led all year. He has led the most laps, of course, in NASCAR Busch competition 6 times this year. 1 win, that coming at Daytona in July. Carl Edwards trying to get his first top 10 finish since July 28th at O'Reilly Raceway Park.
We see him really cleaning his tires off right now. He kind of got caught sleeping on the last restart, let Ryan Newman get by him. Just want to make sure he gets these tires good and clean.
And you see all that debris on the right-hand side of your screen. That's tire rubber, a lot of buildup. You see it on the upper left-hand part of your screen right now. That stuff gets built up on your tires, and there are a lot of things up in there, like metal, that can actually blow the tire out, debris off of people's tires. And so these drivers got to clean all that up, because with the restart with 4 to go, man, you got to be right. Let's take a look at this last restart with Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards. Carl's on top of the track, slides his tire, spins him, and that lets Newman get a big run. Newman goes it outside, stays in the throttle, carries some speed around and passes Carl Edwards. Let's see what happens this time. Is that going to happen again? I'd have to believe that Carl Edwards is going to guard him off, knowing where the 12 car is going to try to make the pass.
Again, the cars that pitted, Kenseth, Denny Hamlin, and Scott Wimmer are 6th, 7th, and 9th, respectively.
All right, 3 laps to go we're down to now.
This is NASCAR's 1 attempt at a green-white checker. Always try to finish these things under green.
Well, you got to commend him for that, because these fans go crazy if they don't see a good finish. And, you know, if I was a fan up there, I think I'd do the same thing. What do you mean? I am a fan. I'm up here, right?
Fans are on their feet. A lot of them have moved in out of the stands to watch what should be a shootout Richmond International Raceway style. It has been the Kyle Busch evening, but Carl Edwards is hungry. So is Ryan Newman. Mike Bliss, what a great run for Bliss in the Dodge number 22 back in 4th spot. Here they come out of turn 4. NASCAR flagman Kevin Moss waves the green flag. Here comes Newman on the inside of Edwards in turn 1.
Kyle Busch gets a great jump again.
Edwards has got the preferred line on top of the track. He's got that momentum built up. Now he clears Newman by about 3 car lengths.
Here comes the 17 car on the high side, and right behind him is Hamlin. They got 1 lap to get there. White flag was given to the leader that time by. Here comes the 17 car up high, goes sailing by the 22. That's 4th spot. Final lap down the back straightaway, and Matt Kenseth is going to run out of time. Here comes Kyle Busch out of turn 4 at Richmond International Raceway, and Kyle Busch dominates and takes his 2nd win of 2007.
All you, baby. Right on. Good job. He was better than us. Way to put on, bud. Way to put on, boys. Nice time right there.
You're turning left. Wonderful.
Kyle Busch, 2nd win of 2007 in just 15 races. His 2nd Richmond win. Both of them have come from the pole. His 9th career NASCAR Busch Series victory, his 4th ever on a short track. What a dominating win, and it could be a pretty good weekend. Remember what happened last fall. Kevin Harvick won both the Busch Series event and the NASCAR Nextel Cup event. Kyle Busch, by the way, will start 3rd in tomorrow night's NASCAR Nextel Cup Series feature.
I just started to say, if this is any indication what's going to happen tomorrow night, Kyle Busch, he's really got that car tomorrow flying. And I mean, he learned a lot tonight about tire pressures, where to run on a racetrack, things like that.
He flat put it on him tonight.
Kyle Busch takes the win. Carl Edwards, Ryan Newman, Matt Kenseth, and Mike Bliss rounding out the top 5. Back at Richmond International Raceway, 22-year-old Kyle Busch has dominated the night here and picks up his second win in 2007. Take a look at our crowning moment of the evening. Now watch this restart here by the 5-car. He knew he had to get it done, and he jumps in the throttle and pulls away from Carl Edwards. Let's listen.
Yeah, boys, that's what I'm talking about. Woo! Way to go, guys. All you, baby. Right on.
Can't get much better than that. Enjoying the spoils of victory as Kyle Busch has now found his way down to victory lane and gets ready to climb out with his 9th career NASCAR Busch Series victory on what was a very warm night.
Well, for the second time in the 2007 season, Kyle Busch goes to victory lane here at Richmond. Once again, a very happy Kyle Busch getting a beer bath from his crew. Give him a second to wipe off his face. Kyle, it's hard to believe in 7 races you have led the most laps and only visited Victory Lane twice. How does it feel to start this Richmond race, this Richmond weekend off here in Victory Lane?
It's great. I mean, we wouldn't want it any other way, that's for sure. You know, these guys work way too hard and produce some great winning race cars. You know, everybody back at Hendrick Motorsports, the engine shop, chassis shop. Lowe's, Stay Green, Spectre Side, Hot Shot. We had 2 great chances at Bristol in California, didn't get it done, but you know, Chevrolet, everybody that's on this team that just makes it all possible for me. You know, Mike Bumgardner, Scott Radel, Alan Gustafson, and you know, everybody that works on the Busch team, and not even the Busch team. You know, these are all my Cup Pit guys too. So they punched out some awesome stops last week. They deserved to win in California. We missed out, but this was a halfway payback because we want the Cup Series.
Not an easy win tonight. Avoided a wreck with Matt Kenseth. You said you had a tire going down the last couple laps. Talk about your battle out there tonight.
It was definitely a battle. You know, I mean, Kenseth had the car to beat today, and I knew he did. And you know, he was the class of the field. But you know, our car was right there, right with him, and I didn't expect that. But it was great to have the chance to race with him like that. And you know, he got the lead from us a couple times there. And you know, thanks, Matt. Spun himself out over there, but with the lap cars. But you know, it was just meant to be, I guess, for this number 5 Lowe's Monte Carlo to get the victory lane.
All right, congratulations, Kyle Busch, celebrating in victory lane. The second time he's won here from the pole. Doc?
Kyle Busch a winner. Friday night fights coming up next, guys, and quickly closing comments.
Look out for Kyle Busch tomorrow. He's got a fast car tonight. I expect the same thing tomorrow. And our Brad Doherty predicted he was going to win, and he did it.
Don't forget about Matt Kenseth. He made a good run at it tonight, too.
Tomorrow night, NASCAR Nextel Cup Series action, 7 o'clock Eastern time on ABC. That young man will start 3rd because the front row has Jimmy Johnson and his teammate Jeff Gordon starting 1st and 2nd. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long, everyone, from Richmond.